Module 4, you learned all about the power of social media and brought your brand to life by creating profiles on each of the major services. Now, it's time to start preparing your product listing on Amazon so that it's ready to go as soon as your inventory arrives. In this lesson, we're going to cover in detail the 8 components of the perfect product page, including extensive keyword research to optimize your product and make sure your customers can find it, an eye-catching product title, well-crafted bullet points, a compelling product description, product images that attract and convert tons of Amazon buyers, how to pick the right price at the right time for your product, what are the critical back-end settings for your product and how to use them, and finally, crafting a powerful email follow-up sequence that'll ensure your product builds raving fans and product reviews. So head into the first lesson and start building your own perfect product page.
Crafting the perfect product page. In this lesson you're going to learn how to create the perfect product page to give you a competitive advantage over your competitors. We spent years refining what the perfect product page needs to have to maximize results. Missing any of these refinements can mean far less sales for your product. In fact, missing even one can make a huge difference. Getting them all right puts you far ahead of the majority of other sellers on Amazon. And this module is all about getting your listing information planned and implemented. You want to have your listing created and ready before your inventory even arrives at Amazon. So let's take a look at the 8 components of the perfect product page. 1. Initial keyword research. 2. A traffic-grabbing product title. 3. Bullet points that sell and differentiate. 4. A compelling product description. 5. Product images that attract and convert. 6. Product pricing for profit. 7. Amazon listing setup settings. And finally 8. Automated emails. We're going to cover each of the 8 in detail in this module. Follow along and create your own perfect product page. This will give you a huge competitive advantage. But you will come back later and optimize your listing. This will not be the last time you edit your listing. Right now it is about getting the best listing you can, so when you launch, you have the best possible results. So what's next? So you've learned what the 8 elements of the perfect product page are. In the next lesson you will learn how to find the best keywords to use in your product title. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Initial strategic keyword research. In this lesson you're going to learn how to perform strategic keyword research specifically for your product listing. Now you do need to do some initial keyword research for your listing. This will enable you to make sure Amazon knows what your listing is about. It also enables your prospective customers to find your product. A keyword is what a consumer types into the Amazon search to find what they are looking for. And it is normally 2 or more words. But let's look at an example. So for instance, if you were selling bicycle pumps on Amazon, you would want to appear for the keyword bicycle pump. However, not every consumer will type in the perfect keyword. They might use bicycle pump automatic or automatic bicycle pump. They might use bicycle pump and patch kit. And someone who had a puncture over their bicycle tire, this is likely what they would search for. And you might get bicycle pump seal. And you even might get bicycle pump online even though they're actually on Amazon searching. Your goal is to capture as much relevant traffic as possible, and building a list of relevant keywords is the best way to do this. Primary and long tail keywords. Primary keywords are the main, most obvious keywords. In our previous example, it would be bicycle pump. That would be our primary keyword. Long tail keywords are all the less searched for keywords, in other words, less popular keywords. And again, from our previous example, that might be bicycle pump and patch kit, or small bicycle pump with gauge. As a new seller, you can get traffic by focusing on both of the keyword types with our keyword strategy. So what Amazon wants. To some extent, Amazon wants you to do your own keyword research. This lets them know what searches you think your product is relevant for. They even have a place for keywords when you set up your product listing, and we will look at that later. However, there's a lot you can do outside of that one spot. And also, we are going to be concentrating on trying to give Amazon exactly what Amazon wants. Where to use keywords. First, the product title. Second, in your bullet points. We will also use them in the description, in the back end, and we're going to cover this in the listing setup later. Advertising on Amazon, and we'll also use them for advertising off Amazon. Now, Amazon doesn't exactly tell you which keywords to use. However, Amazon ads will give you the most accurate keywords. But obviously, when we're setting up our listing for the first time, we don't have any access to Amazon ads data because we haven't used it yet. And this will come later once your product is live. And we will be covering Amazon ads in great detail. For your listing keywords, we will use Amazon Search and a keyword research tool called Merchant Words. Now, we have got an incredible deal with Merchant Words. All you need to do is go to AmazingSellingMachine.com/Merchant Words, and you can get it for $9 a month instead of $30 a month. Now, at this point, we do not have to use Google, in other words, Google Search, as we are concentrating on Amazon keywords. But if you want to take it a step further yourself, by all means, you can use Google too. Okay, before we get started, there's a couple of things you want to get ready. The first one is to go and get Merchant Words. Now, you don't have to use Merchant Words, but it is the best tool we've found for finding Amazon keywords, in other words, keywords that are used on Amazon. That includes the search counts. While the search counts are not 100% accurate, they do give a very good indication of what the search numbers are. And for our purposes, they're perfect. You can either use AmazingSellingMachine.com/Merchant Words, or you can come straight to the site and use /ASM, in other words, merchantwords.com/ASM, and you'll get a 70% discount. So instead of paying $30 a month, you'll only pay $9 a month. So go ahead, subscribe, so that when I start showing you how to use it, you'll have your own copy to look at. The next thing is our old favorite, Google Sheets. I've set up a new spreadsheet, and I've called it Product Keyword Research. And we just need 3 columns, which is keyword, search volume, and type. And you'll see what these all mean when we start searching. So we're going to go straight to Amazon, and we're going to use the example I used earlier on, which is the bicycle pump. And all we need to do to get the ball rolling is to type bicycle pump, in other words, your main primary keyword, into the search bar in Amazon. So you can ignore the purple result. That's actually because I searched it earlier. But if we look down, you can see bicycle pump. That's obviously our main keyword. So we're definitely going to be using that. But we've also got bicycle pump with gauge, bicycle pump portable, bicycle pump mini, bicycle pump needle, bicycle pump adapter, and bicycle pump Presta. Now, these are all keywords we're going to add to our list. But if you're not sure whether it is a good keyword for your product, in other words, bicycle pump with gauge, is that a good keyword for our product? All you have to do is click on it. And then if you see products turning up in that search that match the product that you've chosen, then it's a good keyword because it means these other products are using it too. So that is one I would add. Now you notice we haven't got the search volume yet, and we're going to go to Merchant Words. But first of all, I want to grab the suggestions from Amazon.com themselves, because at the end of the day, we want to do what Amazon wants. And if Amazon are putting those keyword searches in to the auto suggest, then they're obviously valid keywords. But if we go back, I'm just going to get rid of the with gauge and we'll go back to bicycle pump. So again, we could look at portable. And again, if it matched your product, then it's another good keyword. But if you see a ton of products that are nothing like your product, then the odds are that's not going to be a good keyword for your product. But I'm going to take it. I think it's probably a useful one. So we'll go back again. It's going to remove portable again and see what else there was. So we've got mini. It's going to be similar to portable, so I'm assuming it's going to be a good one. I'm just going to click on it. And the results look similar again. So I'm going to assume that's a decent keyword. And then we also have needle. Now it'll be interesting to see whether this throws up results for a pump or just for the actual needle. You can see the majority of these are just needles. Occasionally we're seeing a pump, seeing more pumps. So I'm not 100% sure about this one, but in this case I might still add it. But this is the type of keyword we will be able to identify later when we use Amazon Ad or even AMS. Because if we use that as one of the keywords in our ads and it delivers results, then we know we should be using it. Right now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to add it anyway. So adapter, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be very useful. And Presta, I think, is a brand. If you see a brand in the auto suggest, it's not something we need to make a note of right now. It may turn up when we use merchant words, but at the end of the day, as far as our listing's concerned, and certainly everything but the back end search terms, we won't be using any brands. We do not put other brands in our title, our description, our bullet points, anywhere. Now, another thing I'm going to look at here is, how about bike pump? A different word for a bicycle? So if you've got a product where there's two different kinds of names for it, then do look for both. So bike pump, bike tire pump. So we've got some here. You can see here the extra word is actually very similar to the bicycle pump. So we're probably going to get that anyway when we use merchant words. So I'm not going to copy all of those down, but if we go back to our keyword research sheet, you can see I put the first two in, bike pump and bike tire pump. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go to merchant words. And now I'm going to search using those main seed keywords that we've got direct from the horse's mouth. In other words, straight from Amazon themselves. So I'm going to start with bicycle pump, and then I'm just going to click on search. And then by default, it's going to sort by highest volume, which is what we want. And let's look at what they've got. Straight away, you can see they've pretty much got the same keywords as we had. But we can see one here, bicycle air pump. We didn't see that in Amazon. Tire pump bicycle, which is basically just a phrase match. In other words, it's the same words as bicycle tire pump, just in a different order, but you can see it's a different number of searches. Electrical bicycle tire pump. Now obviously that would not be relevant if our pump wasn't for electric bicycles, but as far as I know, they're the same thing. Electric bicycle pump, air pump bicycle, but you're seeing a lot of other keywords here, and obviously now we're seeing the estimated monthly search too. So what we're going to do is we're going to download that as a CSV by clicking on the download as CSV. And I'm going to show you how to open that up with Excel, but you can use any other spreadsheet software. If you don't have any spreadsheet software, what you can do is left click to the left of the actual first keyword and then just drag all the way down. And you're seeing here we go down as far as 600 and then copy, and then you can paste them in. Now you will notice it's going to add empty lines because of the formatting, and we don't want the results in type, so you'd have to go and delete all these and remove the empty lines. But you can do it that way. I just wanted to show you that you don't have to have software. But I'm going to undo that, and I'm actually going to go back, and I'm actually going to go and open that CSV file. All right, so we've got all this information, and now I'm just going to click in the first box, scroll down. I'm just going to go as far as 500. Everything else is too low to worry about. And in fact, we're probably going to remove most of these results once we see what the kind of results we're seeing actually are. And go back to Google Sheets and paste it in. And there you go. We've got all these results. Now, once you've got a result for one of the seed keywords, you can delete it. But what you also want to do is use these C keywords inside merchant words as well. So I'm going to copy the bicycle pump with gauge. I'm going to go back to merchant words. I'm going to paste in the keyword, and I'm going to search again. And then you just want to look to see if there's any new keywords in here which you haven't already got. For instance, bicycle pump gauge. If I go back to sheets, I can actually see it there, so I don't need to add that. And then you just check the others. So I'll go back, pick another one of the C keywords. As it was, these results were already in our sheet. I'm going to search again. And as you can see, there's only one result here that's above the less than 100. We're not interested in anything less than 100, which is the portable bicycle pump, which we've already got. So what you can find is with these seed keywords, more often than not, they won't actually pull anything else. But when you have something like a different word, in other words, bike, it will. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Just look at one more example. Bicycle pump mini. We've got bicycle mini pump and mini bicycle pump. So I would just check my sheet and see if those are there too. If not, we'd ignore them. But we do want to go and check this different one, which we'll go and take a look at. Bike pump is giving us a lot of different keywords, although what you'll find is probably the same keywords as we've already got with bike instead of bicycle. But you'll see there's lots of different search results too. So this is a great way of adding more keywords. So I'm going to download that CSV and add it to our existing sheet. So I've opened the bike pump Excel file. I'm going to scroll down again, and I'm going to take everything down to 500, copy it. I've come back to Google Sheets. I'm just going to scroll down and paste that list in. Okay, so we've got a ton of keywords now. You can take this process further. You can look for more seed keywords, look at different variations, but essentially that's how you start the process. But I'm going to delete the seed keywords now. I don't need them anymore. And we're left with these. And what I want to do is sort by search volume to start with. To do that, I'm just going to click on the column for B. Then I'm going to click on sort sheet Z to A. So it's the highest number first. And you'll notice straight away the bike pump has got a significantly higher search volume than bicycle pump, and will probably end up being our main primary keyword. But so far so good. So what do we do next? So something I should have shown you was actually how to lock this top bar. In case you haven't already done it, you want to click on the one next to the row, then click on view, then click on freeze, and then you just select one row. in other words the row you've just selected, and click on it. And basically that locks it so it doesn't move. And then when I say click on the column, what you're actually doing is clicking in the top right. You get an arrow, you want to click on that and then select Sort Sheet Z to A. So just to clear that up in case you hadn't seen it. So the next thing we need to do is identify the type, this column here. And all we're doing here is we're identifying keywords that look good, keywords that contain a brand name or a competitor's name, and keywords that don't make 100% sense. I'm probably not going to have a lot of them in this list, but when you do your searches, you probably might find more of them. So I'll just jump through this and see if I can find some examples for you. For instance, electric bike pump. If my bike pump could not be used with an electric bike pump, then I would put in here NA. I mean, that will do. And let's see if I can find an example of a brand. And here's one, Presta bike pump. So I would just put brand, okay? And then all the others will be good. So you just need to go through the list, identify keywords that are good, keywords that don't make 100% sense, and keywords that have a brand name in them. Now I paused the video and went through my list. I'm just going to scroll down here because I just want to show you something else. You can see I've gone all the way down to 1,000 results and I've got 107 keywords. Now at this point, because I've already got 100, I'm not really interested in anything below 1,000. Now this will all depend on how many keywords you've got. Bicycle pump is a very competitive product, so it has a lot of keywords. I'm going to delete these, but for you, if you have 100 keywords, then delete anything below that. Otherwise you can hang on to them. These keywords will probably come up again once we start running Amazon ads. So I'm not too concerned about them, but for the sake of our listing, we only want the keywords with the highest searches. So I'm actually going to delete all these and we're left with 107. Now all of these have got a type. And going back to the NA, I'm actually going to change that back to good because I know electric bike pump is applicable. But essentially, if you're not sure about any keyword, then just mark it NA for now. It doesn't mean we're throwing it away. It just means we're not going to use it straight away. And that is as far as we need to go for this lesson. We're going to be using this sheet for most of the remaining lessons on creating a title, bullet points, description, etc. And if you can think of a keyword yourself that doesn't appear in the searches, then put it into Merchant Words and see if it's got any search results. You're not just tied to what Amazon shows you, but do make sure it's applicable. So the process: identify seed keywords using Amazon's auto suggest in the search bar. Run them through Merchant Words. Download a CSV or copy and then paste into the Sheets file. With longer tail keyword searches, see if they are in your sheet already. If yes, then ignore. If no, then copy and paste into the sheet. Remove any duplicates and sort by highest search volume. Identify type, whether it's a good keyword, a not applicable keyword, in other words it's not completely relevant to your product, and also if it's got a brand name in it. So what's next? So now you've learned how to find the main keywords for your perfect product page. In the next lesson you will learn how to craft the perfect title for your product using your keywords. Action: build your keyword list. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Traffic grabbing titles. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create a traffic grabbing title for your product that will appeal both to Amazon and to your prospective customer. Your product title is the most important text on your listing. It is the best place to tell Amazon what your product is. It is also the best place to tell your customer what your product is. It currently has the highest weight in terms of keyword ranking. In other words, Amazon pay particular attention to any keywords inside the product title. It's useful for encouraging the click on the search pages. So if a potential customer is searching for your product keyword and your product appears on the search page, then the title can help them choose to click on your product and not one of the others. Relevancy is critically important here to all aspects of your product title. It must be relevant for Amazon, and it also must be relevant for your prospective customer. And lastly, your title must be readable and not keyword stuffed. In other words, it must make sense to any customer reading it. Title rules. The product title length must not exceed a maximum of 200 characters, including spaces. Now there are a couple of categories where this number might be less, but Amazon do keep changing this. However, if your title exceeds the allowed number for a specific category, Amazon will tell you when you try and add your title. Do not include subjective terms such as hot or best. You cannot claim your product is the best of its type. Also, do not include promotional messages such as sale or free, and this also includes any mention of a guarantee or refund. Do not include price and quantity. And lastly, do not include special characters or symbols like the copyright symbol. Principles for a great title. Include your brand name. It looks professional and will also help you with brand recognition. Include your most important keyword early in your title. And don't worry, we're going to get to this in a second. Include as many other keywords that you can reasonably fit. And by reasonably fit, we mean that the title remains easily readable and that it makes sense and that it's less than 200 characters. And write for real people. Yes, we want to target keywords to get keyword traffic with our title. But remember, we also need our customer to be able to read the title and for it to make sense to them. You can use hyphens to make your title more readable. And again, you're going to see that shortly. And make sure everything in your title is relevant to your product. And lastly, include some benefits to help conversion. Optimizing your title. Unlike many sellers, we optimize our product title. If you look on Amazon, a normal way might be brand name, product name, and then model. And that's it. That's all they put in their title. The ASM way is brand name, keyword-rich product name, keyword-rich features, and keyword-rich benefits. This is ideal, but might not always be possible depending on your product. And again, don't overdo keywords. There's a real customer looking. Category restrictions. Amazon announced that the maximum number of characters will be 200 for any category. However, for some categories, it's still showing 250, but you should ignore that. 200 characters is more than enough for your title. Now, officially, according to their style guide, some categories have title restrictions as low as 100 or even 50 characters. But we have found that you can exceed this when setting up your listing. We recommend you create the best title you can, but be prepared to shorten it if required to do so by Amazon. If Amazon shorten your title, then you need to change the formula since you won't have enough space. What we recommend you use is brand name, product main keyword, and key features, and use keywords for your key features. What we are doing is removing benefits from the equation, but only do this if Amazon require you to shorten your title. If you are only left with enough space for one feature, then choose the best. Benefits and features. It is important you distinguish between features and benefits. Here is a simple example of both from our bike pump example. Feature: bike pump with gauge. That is a product feature. Benefit: it helps inflate your tire to the correct pressure. So let's go do this. Now we will create our title, but not add it to Amazon until we have all the other content ready, so we can do everything at once. Okay, so here we are back at our product research file. And as you can see, I've filled out all the types. And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to click on the drop down arrow under column C. I'm going to sort sheet A to Z. Then I'm going to highlight all the brand keywords because I don't want to be using these in my product title. I'm going to right click and simply hide rows 2 to 20. So now we're just left with all the good keywords. The non-applicable ones are all down the bottom, so we don't need to worry about those. So we want to create our title and make it readable, but to include as many of these keywords as we can. Now, one thing to note here, we don't want to use any word in our title more than once if we can help it. Now, it's not always possible, but wherever possible, you don't want to repeat any word in your title more than once. So for instance, if I've got bike pump in my title, then I don't want to add micro bike pump, because then I'm duplicating the bike and the pump. Now, as I said, it's not always possible, but we're restricted to only 200 characters, so we want to get as many different words in there that are keywords as we possibly can. Now, Amazon are pretty smart. For instance, if we've used bike pump and we use the word electric somewhere in our title, but not preceding bike pump, Amazon will actually know that that's part of the keyword electric bike pump. But let's get started. There's a really cool online site which helps with this, and it's wordcharactercount.com. Once you get here, you want to click on the remove duplicate words. And this is just a quick tip to help you see the kind of words you want to be using in your title. So if I go back, I'm going to copy all those keywords. I'm going to go back to this tool. I'm going to paste in the words and then click on simple removal. and that's removed all the words that are repeated more than once. So it does give you a good guide. And I'm actually going to open another tab of word character count, and I'm actually going to use this box here for our title. So if you remember from the formula, the first thing we need is the brand name. I've obviously got to make one up, so I'm going to call it Ride Sports. That's my brand name. And then we need the product name. If we go back to our keyword research, we can see that bike pump has the highest search volume, and it is the perfect keyword for our product. However, if my bike pump was a specialized kind of bike pump, for instance, say it was portable or mini or something on those lines, then I might use that keyword. Say for instance it was a mini bike pump, and that's my specialized product, then I would use this keyword even though it's got a lower keyword count, because it's exactly what my product is. And it includes the highest keyword because it's mini and then bike pump, and bike pump is the highest keyword. But I'm just going to assume it's a normal bike pump. And don't forget, you're going to have a much more specialized knowledge of your product than I have of bike pumps. Probably would have been a better idea for me to choose a product I knew something about, but you're going to see everything you need to set up your own title using this example. Okay, so I've taken bike pump and I've included it into our title. And I'm just going to go back to our other page where I removed all the duplicates. I'm just going to copy all these and go to the word character count. It gives me more space. In other words, the same place as I've got my title. Now I've just included bike pump, so I've just used bike and pump in our title. So I'm actually going to delete them from our list of keywords. Now remember, these are all the single words that appear in our keyword list, this list here. But I've removed all the duplications to make it easier to see what I need to include. So if we look at our list, I'm still looking for bicycle with gauge, micro tire, electric, mini, floor, repair kit, air specialized adapter, mountain pumps for road bikes, parts, etc. We've got our brand and our main product keyword. So now we're looking for keywords related to features of our product. So if I go back to look at this list, and you can do it this way and use this list, or you can just work from your product keyword list if you wish. It's completely up to you. I just find it easier removing all the duplicates. So I can see I want to get bicycle in there, but I also want this gauge because I don't want to be using bicycle 3 or 4 words after using the word bike, because remember, we want it to read okay. So I'm going to look at gauge because obviously that's a feature of my bike pump. So I'm also seeing repair kit further along. That's also obviously a feature. So I'm going to go back to my title. I'm going to put a hyphen after the brand and product keyword. Then I'm going to add tire pressure gauge plus repair kit. So I'm telling them the pump has a tire pressure gauge, but also comes with a repair kit, both features. And you'll notice I squeezed in tire as well because that appears right here. But I'm going to take tire out now. I can take repair kit out. I can also take gauge out. I'm going to take the width out as well because that's only really related to the gauge. And also if we look here, specialized adapter. So that looks like another feature. So I've added and specialized adapter. Now you can see we're at 83 characters, so I know I've got another 117 to work with. So I'm just going to check to see if I can see any more features. First, I'll remove a specialized adapter. In fact, I'm going to remove pressure because I used that with the gauge. Portable is actually a feature, but it's also a benefit, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. And I'm seeing needle. Now, I actually quickly went and looked on Amazon at different pumps, and different number of needles was definitely a feature. So the particular product I'm using for an example had 3 needles. So I've just added with 3 needles. Now, always use the number and not the word. So in other words, for 3, we use the number 3 and not THREE. Just one of Amazon's rules. So I'm okay right now with the number of features. So I'm going to start looking at benefits. Just delete the needle. So I'm seeing road bikes and electric. If you remember from our keyword research, it said electric bike or electric bicycle pump. So I want to include electric bicycle and road bikes, because you'll notice I haven't used bikes, the plural. I've only used bike singular. So I want to use that. So I put compatible with electric bicycle and mountain and road bikes. So I've got the bikes and the bicycle in there. So let's go back and remove those. I'm liking the look of portable and compact. So I'm actually going to put another hyphen in for now. Hyphen is basically just about readability. Portable and compact work. You can see I've only got 16 left. So I'm not seeing anything here that jumps out that I can add that's a benefit per se. So what I did was I went and looked on Amazon, and I noticed that the specialized adapter was connected with air release. So a lot of the adapters didn't work very well, and basically when you tried to pump, it just released a lot of air. So I put prevents air release. Now you'll notice I've gone over. I've got 208 characters here. So if this was my title, I'd need to remove 8. So I can change that to stops. You can see we're down to 204, so I need to lose 4 characters. So I think I figured it out. And this is what you need to do. You just need to play around with your title. To your heart's content, you can take as long as you want to do this. And then just find a title that appeals to you. I'm going to cut that out. So we've got electric bicycle and mountain and road bikes compatible. And boom, 199 characters. Now, I've literally done this in a few minutes. You do want to spend more time, and you do want to try and get as many of the keywords at the top of your list as possible. But always remembering, it needs to be readable. We need our customer to be able to read it and understand it. So what I've ended up with is ride, sports, bike pump, tire pressure gauge plus repair kit, and specialized adapter with 3 needles. Electric bicycle and mountain and road bikes compatible, portable and compact, stops air release. Now, as I said, it's not perfect by any means. I could probably spend a couple of hours and make this much better, but I just wanted to show you an example of how you can put it all together. Now, one last word on this method of removing the extra words that come up more than once. For instance, say frame. Say you weren't sure how frame worked into the keywords. You just go back and look for frame in your keywords. You can run a search in here, but I'm just going to quickly scan down and look for it. There it is, bike frame pump. So obviously people are looking for a pump that will attach to a bike frame. So that would be a very good keyword to use. And if I was spending more time on this, that's definitely something I would use. But I just wanted to show you the method of how you do this. Take your time with this. The title is very important. But always remember, you can come back and change the title. And in fact, moving forward, once you've got everything up and running, it is something you can split test. In other words, you can change the title and see if it has any effect on your traffic and also on your conversion. But that's how we go about creating our title. So I'm going to go and save this in a file. So I've got it ready to add to my listing once I've got the bullet points and description and everything else figured out. So to recap, creating your product title. Use your keyword list from your keyword research. Craft your product title using what you learned in this lesson. Pay attention to the rules. If Amazon don't like your title, then use this formula instead. Brand name, main product keyword, key features that describe this model, and obviously you'd add keywords in there. So you're actually removing the benefits from the title. But you only remove the benefits if Amazon don't like your title and don't accept it. So what's next? So you've learned how to create your product title. In the next lesson, you will learn how to create your product bullet points. Action: create your product title and save it, ready for when we add all our content to our listing. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Bullet points that differentiate. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create bullet points for your listing that will not only help differentiate you from your competitors, but also help you to rank your keywords with Amazon. After the title, the bullet points are the first text your customers are going to see on your product listing. So they do have an important role to play. They also take up more real estate than the title. This is because bullet points have a limit of 500 characters and not 200, and there are also 5 of them. Bullet points have 2 main functions. Keyword relevance for better search rankings, and this is similar to the title. We want to include all our main keywords in our bullet points. And secondly, to help sell your product. You can use the bullet points to help increase your conversion. Changing just one bullet point can have a big impact on your conversion rate. So for the content, you want to tell your prospective customer why they should buy your product. And you should use a mixture of features and especially benefits. You also can indirectly call out competitors' weaknesses and show that your product has a solution. And you also want to differentiate your product from the competition. Lastly, remove risk. And we do that with a guarantee and use all 5 bullet points. A quick example. Your first bullet point should be a big differentiator and you should use keywords. Basically, it should cover what your product is and why it is the best choice. For the second bullet, a feature expressed as a benefit to the buyer, and again you're going to use keywords. In other words, you mention a feature of your product and why it is beneficial to your buyer. And you can do the same for bullet 3. Bullet 4, highlight a problem and how your product removes the problem. And again, you're going to use keywords. And lastly, risk removal. And that means using a manufacturer guarantee or promise. And again, we use keywords. Using the word manufacturer is very important. So some bullet point rules. Begin each bullet point with a capital letter. Now you can use other capital letters within each bullet point, but the first one must have a capital letter. Write all numbers as numerals, similar to the title. For 3, use the number 3 and not THREE. Separate phrases in one bullet with semicolons. You can also use commas, but if it's more like you're starting a new sentence, then use a semicolon. Do not use hyphens, symbols, periods, or exclamation points. So nothing that normally ends a sentence. Do not include promotional and pricing information. That is not what bullet points are for. And lastly, do not include shipping or company information. So let's go take a look at how we create these bullet points. So here we are at our product keyword research sheet. I'm going to do exactly the same as I did last time. I'm going to go down and copy all the good keywords, go to word character count, paste them in, and click simple removal. Now with the bullet points, there's less of an issue about repeating the same words, especially if they're in a different bullet point. However, we do want to ensure that we get as many of our keywords as possible into our bullet points. So I'm going to be using the same method as we did for the title. And I've also opened another page for us to actually record our bullet points. Now it's highly unlikely you're going to reach the 500, but if you are very good with words and very good with copy, then by all means stretch the number of characters in each bullet point. But relevance is a key again. Don't just add information to your bullet points that have no relevance to your product. But let's start with the first bullet. Remember, we want this to be a big differentiator. We want to tell the customer about our product and what is good about it. Now I'm going to take a look at the earlier words in our list. So bike pump, bicycle with gauge, micro, tire, electric, mini, floor, repair kit, and try and come up with a bullet point that includes some of those, but also tells our customer why our product is so good. And here is what I came up with. As you can see, Ride Sports bicycle pump with gauge. Now I would actually use a semicolon there. Our bike pump is built with the highest quality materials to the highest quality standards you should expect, and includes an emergency puncture repair kit, so you'll never have to worry about being left stranded with a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. Now I've mixed features and benefits in this bullet. You don't have to do that for the first bullet, but I'm just trying to get across that our product is a good one. And you'll see I used a lot of the keywords. So if we go back to our list and start removing the ones I used. So I used all of the first ones, didn't use micro. In fact, I'm actually going to move that and put it in the word character count box because it's easier to manipulate than it is in the previous page. So let's see, what else did I get rid of? Flat tire, so I've got rid of tire and repair kit, and that's it. Now you'll notice I'm using other words that aren't keywords, and that's fine. You're going to need to do that. You can't just use only keywords. And remember, just like the title, it has to make sense to the customer. Okay, so I'm reasonably happy with that first bullet point. So we can go on to our next one. Now this one's going to be a feature with some benefits. So I need to pick a feature out from our keywords for our product and then mention the benefits of it. So if I go back to our single keywords, specialized adapters jumping out to me again is exactly the same as it did for our title. So I'm going to use that one in a bullet point, which is the feature, and then a benefit of having it. Okay, so I've got specialized adapter with a semicolon again. Newly designed performance adapter that prevents air leaks, which means no more wasted energy pumping and losing air, complete with 3 needles. So the feature is a specialized adapter. The benefit is it prevents air leaks, which means you're not going to waste energy while you're trying to pump up your tire and losing air at the same time. But I've also added another feature, which is the complete with 3 needles. Now, I might actually use this as another bullet point, but for now it seemed to fit in well with the adapter. So I'm going to go back and remove the keywords I just used. So specialized adapter and air, remove those. I'm not actually going to remove needle because I used needles. But let's keep moving forward. I'm going to create another feature with benefits. And although nothing from this list is jumping out at me right now, I do know that having a gauge is important. So I've added accurate large gauge incorporated. In other words, it's incorporated into the pump. Semicolon. The large gauge is easy to read and will help you set your desired pressure easily and accurately. Now I could expand on this. Something about riding on terrain with the wrong pressure, something like that. But to be honest, I'm not that much of an expert. But when you come to writing the bullet points for your own product, then you're obviously going to have more information. But that's another one done. Now for this one, in the example we gave, we actually want to find an issue with our competitors and then bring up that issue without actually naming the competitors and our cure for it. Because if people are doing research for a product, They do read reviews, they may see people saying a bad thing about other products, and then they get to yours and they see in the bullet point, wow, this product has fixed that problem. So for instance, I saw on one or more of the reviews it mentioned that the bike mount for the pump was not very solid. We're going to assume that that's a widespread problem, so I'm going to create a bullet point around that. So I've got secure bike frame mount, and the bullet point says all our pumps come with our secure clamp no slip mount. No more worries about the pump falling off while you're at top speed. And then I've just included another feature, and is portable and compatible with road bikes, mountain bikes and electric bicycles. I'm just trying to get a few more keywords in and also pointing out an extra feature or two of the product. So I'm going to go back and remove keywords from my list. And you can see we've got these left. In fact, pumps got that, and I also got mountain. But we haven't managed to use these, but at the end of the day, if there's no easy way of working them in, then it's not critical. We've used a lot of keywords in our bullet points, but the more you can get in that makes sense, the better it is. The last bullet point we want to create is our manufacturer guarantee. So I've put satisfaction guarantee, and I've played with the product name a little bit to get Mini in there. Our Mini bicycle pump is backed by our manufacturer 30-day money-back guarantee with 1 year free replacement warranty. But the most important thing here is it's the whole warranty and guarantee. You're basically telling them that you've got so much confidence in your product that they don't have any risk with buying it, because they can always get either their money back or a free replacement. And that's very important. So I've got my 5 bullet points. I'm going to copy them and put them in the file with the title. Now, I've thrown this together pretty quickly. You should obviously take more time over it yourself. A couple of these are very short. But again, don't just create longer bullet points for the sake of creating longer ones. They need to make sense. And try and get as many of your keywords as you can into the 5 bullets as a whole without making it appear as though it is keyword stuffed. In other words, it has to read and make sense. So what's next? So you've learned how to create your product listing bullet points. In the next lesson, you will learn how to create a product description for your product listing. Action: create your bullet points and save them with your title. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Creating a compelling product description. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create a product description for your listing that will both help your conversion but also your rankings. The product description is the last text element you control that your customer will see. However, just because it's the last one, this does not mean it is not important. Far from it. By the time someone gets to the product description, they're looking for confirmation. They're really itching to buy at that point. They just want to make sure first. A good product description. It reassures them that this product is exactly the product they are looking for. It recaps the product features and recaps the benefits of the product features. And lastly, it removes risk and asks for the sale. Use as many of your keywords as possible. Product description principles. Make sure it is properly formatted and easily readable. Also, make sure it is written in clear, conversational, yet professional English. It should let the buyer know that this product will deliver on its promise, and lets the buyer know there is no risk in giving the product a try. And lastly, it should ask for the sale and tells the buyer what to do next. Formatting. You can use limited HTML in the product description. Firstly, the strong tags, you can see them here, and don't worry, I'm going to show you this in an example. Basically, the open strong tag and the closed strong tag bolds the text in between the tags. And the open P and closed P create a paragraph. The open BR and closed BR tag creates a new line. Now I will show you a free site to create this, but it is very simple to use and you only have to worry about 3 tags. Now, unlike the title and the bullet points, I'm not going to walk you through creating the entire description because it would take far too long for me to walk through every step. But I am going to show you some examples of bad, average and good product descriptions, and I'm also going to show you how to format using an online tool. So first of all, let's look at some examples. This first example you can see here, I'm not even going to read the text, but you can see it looks pretty terrible. It's just one solid block of text. they haven't used any formatting at all. And to be honest, the likelihood is that a customer scrolling down this page might even miss it. So although this listing will still get some benefit from the keywords, it won't get any benefits when it comes to making the sale. This second example is much better, and I like their opening statement. Have you used a bike pump before that hasn't delivered when you needed it the most? Stuck on a road or trail far from home. So that essentially is the problem, and that's the way you should always start this. You start with a problem and then you give them the solution, in other words, your product. They've got some good features here, but I'm not seeing benefits. Like this one, for instance, easy to read pressure gauge integrated into the hose. It'd be really easy to add a benefit after that. Yes, you could argue that most people understand the benefit, but actually putting the benefit in front of the customer reinforces it. And that's what we're doing with this product description. We're reinforcing that they should be buying our product. Now, as far as the formatting goes, it all looks a bit messy. It's not clean. You can see they've got the first line, it's indented at least one, if not two spaces. They've got these bullets which are all crammed together. And although I would say it's a decent description because at least they have used formatting, I think it's very messy. So we'll look at one more example. Now, in terms of formatting, this is beautiful. It's nice and clear. They've made just enough use of the bold text so it stands out and doesn't just look the same as everything else. And they've started slightly differently. They've got you want. In other words, they're talking about the customer's want, then the customer's need and the customer desire, and then what you get. So it's decent. It's got some features mentioned. But once again, I would say it's missing benefits. They could have more benefits in here. They are mentioning it, but there could be more. And they're not doing a very good job of mentioning a guarantee or refund. In fact, they're not mentioning it at all. They're just including an offer that they can get. But they have got the add to cart today. Now, adding add to cart today is completely up to you, and it's the call to action. I would make it a bit better than just add to cart today. Put something like click on the add to cart button and get your product name straight away, or delivered in 2 days, or something like that. Just saying add to cart today, it's not exactly great, but you can see what you want to do. And just follow the instructions from the slides. You want an opening statement that's problem that they need to fix. You tell them how your product fixes the problem. You talk about the features of your product and the benefits of those features. And you also want to make the customer realize that there's no risk. And that's where the guarantee comes in. If I jump back to the previous example, they did a slightly better job. We know our products are the best quality and they will last a lifetime. So if you have any product issues, we're here happy to either provide a refund or a replacement. So it's better, but at the same time, they're not mentioning what that refund is or the replacement, how it works. So if we jump back now to our old friend, word character count, I've just put some examples in here. So I've actually used the opening statement from one of those. Have you used a bike pump before that hasn't delivered when you needed it the most? Stuck on a road or trail far from home. Perfectly good way to pose the problem. Then I've just included another line because I want to be able to show you formatting. But here's the risk avoidance. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Our mini bicycle pump is backed by our manufacturer 30-day money-back guarantee. So they know anytime in 30 days they can get their money back with 1 year free replacement warranty. And you're also telling them that they've got a 1 year warranty on their product. It's a much better way of telling the customer that there's no risk involved in them purchasing your product. But let's go take a look at the formatting. So I'm just going to copy it all. And then you want to go to word to html.net. So Word, W-O-R-D-T-O, HTML.net. And then in this first box, you can see paste formatted text to convert to HTML. So you just paste it in and you'll see straight away on the right, it's already added the paragraph tag for you. But that shows you how to use the paragraph tag. You can see it's an open P to start with, open tag, and then it's a closed P tag at the end of the sentence. And basically, if you do that for all your sentences, it will put an empty line in between. Now let's say we wanted to bold something. So I want to bold 100% satisfaction guarantee. Well, you just use this editor up above. I'm going to click on the bold button, and you can see it's added the open strong tag and the closed strong tag after the 100% satisfaction guarantee, and obviously that's your bold there. So you want to go ahead and create your product description. Remember, you've got 2,000 characters and you can always use word character count to build your description, so it'll keep you updated on the number of characters. But remember, you don't have to use 2,000 characters. Yes, by all means use as many as you need, but it still boils down to relevance. Don't add text for the sake of adding text. Try and use as many of your keywords as you can, and make sure you list every single feature of your product and every single benefit too. So you've seen the paragraph and the strong, and we can also use line breaks. Now, I don't use line breaks very often. I prefer to have empty lines, in other words, use paragraph in between each sentence. But for instance, if we wanted to add lines one after the other, then you just paste it in, then it will just do it for you, exactly the same. You can see it's got the line break code in here, and you can actually see they're just using the closed BR, they're not using the open BR. So you can add lines with no spaces between if you wish. But this is really simple to do. You're going to add your product description to this box on the left, and it will create the code you need. And then all you do is you highlight all the code, copy it, and save it to a file ready for when we add everything to our listing towards the end of this module. Now, before we move on, I just wanted to show you one other type of description, and it's a type of description you either need to be an Amazon vendor, which is a program that Amazon invite you to, or you need to have brand registry and the ability to create enhanced product descriptions. But I do want to show you, because when you create your first listing, you can't add images, you can't add video, you can only add text. But I do want to show you an example so you can see what it looks like. And it's this one here. You can see this is their product description. They've got a title, they've got this lovely big image, more text, more images. Now, as I say, when you first start out, you're not going to be able to add these. Originally, you could only do this if you're an Amazon vendor, but recently they rolled out this new enhanced brand content. But to get it, you must be brand registered. But it's nothing to panic about right now. Creating a good looking description, the way we've described, having it properly formatted, and listing everything we've told you to list, you will get great results from your product description. So to recap, use as much of the 2,000 character limit as you need. Do not add text for no reason. Remember, relevance. Use as many of your keywords as you can, remembering that the content must read well. Use all your product features and benefits. And lastly, remove risk. So what's next? So you've learned how to create your product description. In the next lesson, you will learn how to create product images that attract and convert. Action step, write your product description and save it with your title and bullets ready for when we add them all later in this module. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Product images that attract. In this lesson, you're going to learn all about your product images and how to make sure you get the most out of them. Images are the second most important element of your product listing after your title, and they are the most important when it comes to conversions. This is mainly because the one drawback to online shopping is that you can't touch and feel the product. So your images have to provide this sensory experience as much as possible. Image types. First of all, your main product image. This is not only the image your potential customers will see in the search pages, but also is the first image they will see when they go to your listing. Secondary product images, for instance, different angles. Lifestyle images, instructional images, and finally product accessories or components. Now for images, your minimum size should always be 1000 times 1000 pixels, but bigger is better. The bigger your image is, the clearer it will look, and also the better it will look if a customer zooms in. Your main product image. It has to have a pure white background, just like the image you see on the right. It also must not contain any badges or text. Now, you might see other images on other products that have badges or text for their main product image. This breaks Amazon's TOS, so do not do it. It must be the product only. Again, just like the example on the right. A square image is best. It will display better on Amazon's pages. And where possible, you want all the extra white space cropped out. Now, depending on the size and shape of your product, that's not always completely possible. And you want it as high quality as possible. Again, the minimum is 1000 by 1000 pixels, but higher is better. Secondary images. They can have any color background. You can see the examples on the right. Again, square is best. And again, you want it as high quality as possible. Lifestyle images are really important and really effective. The first two images on the right are both lifestyle images. They contain the product being used in an everyday setting. And you can also have images of accessories or components. So how many images? Product listings have 9 image slots in most categories. However, not all show without clicking a button. For the most part, 7 will show, and then there'll be a button saying see more. Use all 9 slots. And remember, the main image should be the product only. Fill up the remaining slots with lifestyle images, different angle product images, instructional images, and accessories or component images. Creating your images prior to inventory. So in other words, if you haven't received your inventory yet, this is how you can get your images created. First, take a photograph of your sample. And you can use Pixels with a Z, so that's pixelz.com, to remove the background. It's very simple to use. You just upload your image and it costs about $1.25, and they email it back to you the following day. You can also go to Fiverr.com and search remove image background, but you're going to pay at least $5 for that. When you have a label, get a graphic designer to add the label to your sample photo. Again, you can use Fiverr.com or even Upwork.com. Now, this is a slightly more complicated process and might cost a little bit more, but it is an option if all you have is your sample with no label on it. Upgrading after inventory. So this is either when you've received your inventory at Amazon, or even if your supplier notifies you that your inventory is ready to be shipped. Ask your supplier to express you 1 or 2 units before the inventory is shipped. Or once your product's actually at Amazon, create a fulfillment order to send the product to a photographer or even photo service. Now, one of the services we recommend is called productphotography.com, but you'll also find more resources inside the private vault. Lastly, create a fulfillment order to send the product to yourself. Then take the best possible picture you can with either a camera or a smartphone, and then use Pixels.com to remove the background. Lifestyle images. So you can use the product image and stock photographs. There are numerous stock photograph sites online. Some are free and some charge. And essentially what you do is you use the stock photograph and add your product image to that photograph. Now, the easiest way to do this is find a designer to create the lifestyle images for you. In other words, to use the stock photograph and the product image. You can also use a photo enhancement service. One of the ones we recommend is octodime.shop/services, and if you use the code ASM7 you will get a discount. But let's go take a look at some examples. Okay, so here's the first example, and this is an example of how you should not create images for your product listing. First of all, straight away you can see they've only got 2 images. It's a total waste. And you can also see there is a ton of white space around. What that means is on the search pages, it's not going to pop out. It's not going to jump out at the customer looking at the search pages. Now, it is a difficult product to photograph because obviously it's long and thin. So obviously trying to get it into a square image is not that simple. And although they've used quite a big image, so the zoom works really well, it's still a bad example. And the shape is no excuse. And I'll show you why in the next example. But just note, they've only got 2 images. You definitely should use all the images that Amazon make available to you. So the next example, again, it's just a long pump. So the shape is very similar, but what you can see is First of all, they've mounted it so it is wider, but they've also angled it so it points from bottom left to top right. So it fills up more of the space. You can see it's only really top left and the bottom right that don't have a lot of white space. So very good image. And you can see it's a very, very high quality image in the zoom. You'll also see they've made really good use of the extra images. First of all, you got this lovely graphic showing everything you get with the pump, but also how it works. And you've got a kind of lifestyle image of someone pumping up a tire. And this is a really good benefit image. You can see it says safe and secure frame mount. There's a nice arrow going down to it. If you remember from before, one of the issues with a lot of these pumps was the mount was not very secure. Next one, it's more information. It's also showing you about the different needles and that you can actually use this pump with the special needles for sports equipment too. So it's another good image. They're showing you the size because that's obviously a really cool feature of this pump. It's small and compact. And lastly, another image showing everything you get in the package and the sizes. So much better. They've used all the images, and while the only lifestyle image is not fantastic, they've still got one in there, and they've used the benefit, which is really, really cool. Now this one's actually a TomTom watch. I've just jumped away from bike pumps to show you another example. Now at first glance, this image might not look as though it's using all of the white space, but if you actually go and scroll over it, you can see that it is. It's just the way it's displayed on Amazon. But look at the high definition of that photograph. And I can tell you in the search results, this jumps out a lot. It's a really, really cool image. And I'm not even showing you the main image. But it's the same thing with the main image. You can see not a lot of white space. And this is an example of showing different angles of your product. You can see not only are they showing different angles, but each image also has a different display. And then you've got a lifestyle picture. A guy going to work wearing the watch. And it's showing that you can use it in everyday use. And then you've got a picture of a girl working out wearing one. So some good lifestyle images. And then finally, they're showing one of its other functions, which is being able to connect to a laptop. So we'll close that one. And this I wanted to show you is kind of good and really bad at the same time. This is the main image. It's got a black background, not white. They've got save 15%. They've got all these images all the way around it. If anyone reported this to Amazon, it would get taken down immediately. They would remove this image. And if they didn't have another image that was a white background, Amazon would put up a really, really low quality image. In other words, they'd take a picture of it themselves in their depot. And trust me, you do not want that to happen. So don't do this. You are going to see instances of people doing this, even in your own category, even maybe your own product. But do not do it under any circumstances. You do not want to bite the hand that feeds. Amazon do not want you to do this. And we've seen numerous cases of this kind of thing being punished by Amazon, so don't do it. They have got some other really good graphics. And again, these kind of images you can have done quite easily by a graphic service and relatively cheaply too. And they make an amazing difference. You've got another one here showing some more information. You've got some lifestyle images, more lifestyle images, more lifestyle images, and then an interesting little graphic at the end. So they're actually really good. I love their images. Just the first one, it's a huge no-no. If they used a white background like the previous example, they would be much better off because they wouldn't be risking Amazon going after them. So close that one down. And this one more quick example, and it's just lifestyle images. And that's all the examples I wanted to show you for now. But I do quickly just want to show you a couple of other things. Firstly, this is productphotography.com. They do some really, really high quality images. It's all they do. It is their business is taking product photographies of all kinds. You'll see all these images flashing through. You can scroll down, see all their information, but they're not incredibly cheap. They are fairly expensive, but you will get incredible images. And for them, you would create a fulfillment order and send the product to them and tell them what kind of images you wanted, and they would take them for you. But it is a service I've used a lot. And lastly, I wanted to mention again, Octodime.shop. Now, I found this service about 6 months ago, and I'll be quite honest, I've been blown away by what they can do. You can see some of the examples they do here. And it's not about taking photographs, they don't do that. You send them your images. So you can see the examples they do here. You've got these two. These are the original pictures, and then this is what they came up with. Now, these aren't for your main images. These are more about lifestyle images and graphics with information, like instructional, but they do a fantastic job, and it's not that expensive. and plus you do get a discount through using us. And they have another service that helps with your listing, with copywriting. I haven't used it, but I do recommend their images. You can see what they can do. I mean, here's a sponge, at least I think it's a sponge of some type, and this is the packaging. And these are the images they created, and they're absolutely phenomenal. I love this first one. So they can do amazing things. And the really smart thing is, if you look at this, their images are so high quality that you actually think they used a model, but they didn't. They used stock images. So it's very good, and you get some really high quality images to put on your listing. And also, if your product is the type that needs instructions, they'll be able to help you with that too. So I just want to mention those two services. But you're not tied to these. Do look in the private vault. We will be adding more and more resources all the time to the product vault. So what's next? So you've learned how to create your product images. In the next lesson, you will learn how to price your product the most effective way. Action: get your initial images ready, or if you have inventory to work with, get upgraded images. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Product pricing for profit. In this lesson, you learn about how pricing works on Amazon and how to select your base price, as well as how we price our product moving forward for the best profit. Amazon's pricing system. If you look at listings on Amazon, you will see that the majority show two prices. On the search pages, the higher price is crossed out, and on the listing, the higher price is crossed out and the actual price is in red, with the saving in red too. This is the sale price, but we use it permanently. When we talk about product price, it is actually the sale price that we are referring to. A lower selling price doesn't always mean more sales, and it definitely doesn't always mean more profit. Following the ASM course means you should have a high quality product. Having a high quality product means you can aim to sell your product at the higher end of the market, evaluating your base price point. Look at the price of your primary and competing products. In addition, how does your product compare to theirs? As a general rule of thumb, your base price should be in the middle of your competing products. However, if your product is far superior to theirs, if you've made improvements or additions to it, then you can probably move your base price up. But as an example, if your primary and competing products were $29.99, $19.99 and $34.99, then your base price would be around the 28 mark, which is around the average of the three prices. But don't worry too much about this. We will be evaluating the price as we go to check on its validity. Launching price. Over time, you will change your product price, as you will see. When you first launch your product, you should do so at a lower price than your base price. Mike will discuss this in greater detail in Module 6 when you learn about the new ASM launch strategies. For now, you can assume your launch price is going to be closer to the lower end of the price range. The initial launch phase pricing will mean you have a lower profit margin. In reality, even this profit margin will probably just contribute to the cost of doing the launch. However, this is completely normal. Getting sales velocity out of the gate is critical, and Mike will also be talking about sales velocity in the next module. But once the launch is over, you will be raising your price and increasing your profit margin. Pricing phases. Phase 1, launch price, for as long as it takes to get sales velocity. Phase 2, raise the price to your base price. And finally, Phase 3, once your product is established and has regular sales, increase the price. You will increase the price by $1 per week until you notice sales start to drop, at which point you revert to the last price. You will continue to split test your pricing throughout the lifespan of your product. Your price is the easiest element to split test, and you should definitely take advantage of this. You might find that at a higher price you have less sales, but the higher conversion rate and profit margin make up for this. For now, we will use our base price until our inventory arrives and we are ready to launch. So what's next? So you've learned about how pricing works on Amazon and how you will be changing the price over time. In the next lesson, you will learn how to add everything we have created in this module to our listing. Action: evaluate your base price. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Creating your complete listing. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create your complete listing, including title, bullet points, description, and also the back-end search term, as well as how to upload an image. So I've used word character count to store all the information I'm going to need. You can see I've got my UPC number, I've got my title, got my bullet points, and I've got my description. Now we're also going to use our product keyword list for the search terms in the back end, but let's go ahead and get started. So you can see I'm on my inventory page, and I'm going to put my mouse cursor over inventory and then click on add a product. So I'm going to find the best category. I put bike pump in. Now it's showing you products that already exist, and obviously we don't want to sell one of those. We want to create our own product listing, and this is a slight change. You'll notice that you have to come to this page before you can click on create a new product listing, but I'm going to click on create a new product listing, and then it's going to ask me to find my category. So I'm going to type in bike pump, and you can also close that box and you can actually search manually down here, but I'm going to use the category box, click on find category, and ours is going to be in sporting goods, so I'm just going to use that to narrow it down, although I can see them all here on the right hand side. And the closest one to my pump is the frame mount bike pumps. So here we go. So we can start filling in our information. So the product name is actually our product title, so that's the first thing I'm going to grab. And then your manufacturer, just put your brand name. Now the manufacturer part number, this isn't critical, but you can just literally make up any number you want. But it does help to make some kind of sense. So for instance, I'm selling a bike pump, so I might use BP, then 001, and then for brand name, just put in Ride Sports again. Shipping weight is 0.61 pounds, so I'll copy that. And you'll notice things are slightly different depending on the category. And that's all the ones so far on this page it's asking us for. But I do know I'm going to have to come back and put in my UPC. I'm not going to worry about variations. I'm not going to add a variation right now. I'm going to go to offer. Now the seller SKU, you can actually choose one yourself, or you can let Amazon choose it for you. So I've just put in RSBP 00001, and that's obviously Ride Sports bike pump. Condition is always new. You want to put your price in. That's not the actual price you want to sell at. We're actually going to use our sale price for that. So if I know I want to sell this product at $19.99, then I'm going to put $29.99 in here. And then fulfillment channel, you want to make sure 100% that the button is checked for I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service. And you'll notice that our vital info has now got an exclamation mark, and that's because it's asking me now for my UPC. So I'm going to go and grab that, I'm going to paste it in and select UPC. And there you go. So I'm just going to jump back to offer, and we've done everything we need to do in the offer for now. Images, we're going to upload an image. So this main image is obviously your main image. So that's the one you want with just a plain white background, no text, no badges, remember. But I'm just going to upload an example of one that I pulled off Amazon. And there you go. Now make sure you've watched the lesson on images. You want to use all these boxes if you can. Use as many as you can right now. And then when you get your inventory, if you want to create more, you can. But that's all I need for images right now. As I said, I would have filled out as many as I could. Then we go to description. I'm going to paste in our product description. Scroll down, take all that information. I'm going to copy it. Paste it in. There we go. We've got no error messages. Key product features. These are actually your bullet points. So I'm going to go back and start grabbing those. Paste that one in. I'm just going to click add more so I get 5. Paste the next one in. I'm just going to pause the video while I add the remaining ones. Okay, so I've added all the bullet points. So we've finished our description and our bullet points, so we're going to go to keywords. Now what we're looking at here is search terms. This is the one we're most interested in. I'm just going to click on add more. You're allowed 5 of these, and it's telling you you're allowed 1,000 characters. However, we do not recommend you use anything like that, and anything you put in here must be relevant. Now, you're going to see lots of conflicting information about search terms. Everyone's got their own ideas. Basically, we test this on a regular basis, and I'm going to show you what we are using right now, although we are testing a few other things specifically to do with the search terms. But what we're going to do is we're going to take all our keywords and we're going to actually run them through the remove duplicate words as we did before. So I'm just going to open that. I'm going to open the keywords. I'm going to copy them all. I'm not using the CO2 ones because mine is not a CO2 pump. I'm going to paste them in. Simple removal. Now, as you start selling, and especially as you start using the Amazon advertising platform, you're going to find more keywords. You're going to get more accurate keywords. But for now, just use the ones you got with your initial product research. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to copy this, paste it into the word character count. And what you should do is you should have 5 lines that all have roughly the same number of keywords in. So I'm going to copy the first line, paste it into a first line of search terms. Just going to get rid of that space. And do not use commas. The only thing you want to have other than words in your search terms is spaces. You do not want to use commas. Copy the next one. Then I'm just going to pause the video and fill out the rest. So we've got our 5 lines of search terms, and we've gone as far as we need to go in this initial setup. And I'm just going to click on Save and Finish. Okay, you're going to see this message: your listing is being created. This process may have to take up to 30 minutes. Same message as we got before when we did the quick setup. But all I'm going to do is click on Continue. And you can see there's no listings there right now. And I'm just going to pause the video, leave it for a while, and come back when my listings appeared. Okay, so it only actually took a couple of minutes and our listing's up. But this is actually an FBM listing. In other words, it's fulfilled by merchants. So the first thing we need to do is change it to fulfilled by Amazon. Now, Amazon just do it this way. When you create a listing, even though you selected Amazon, it's nothing to worry about. But you just want to go to the right hand side of Edit, click on the drop down, and click on Change to Fulfilled by Amazon. Now you want to click on Convert Only. However, as we discussed in the quick setup, you must have the barcode type set to Amazon barcode. It's critically important. So make sure that says Amazon barcode, and then click on Convert Only. Now you can see I'm getting an error message. It's nothing to worry about. And in fact, if I go to Inventory now and click on Manage Inventory, you can see it's there and it's all looking good. Now the images do take longer to show up, and you can see how important it is to go and create all your content before you actually add the listing. It saves you a lot of time, and you can use a text document if you want. I just like using word character count. It gets all the information I need in one place, and I just have to navigate backwards and forwards between the tabs. So there are 2 more things we need to do with our listing that we couldn't do on the initial setup. So we need to click on Edit on the far right, and then in the Offer tab we're going to scroll down, and here is where we're going to set our price for what we actually sell our product for on Amazon. And it's right here where it says sale price. So remember, I said I wanted my product to sell at $19.99 initially. The sale start date, I'm going to click the 24th, which is today, and then the sale end date, I'm just going to put it a month away, and there we go. So our product now will be $19.99. The other thing we need to do, if you remember from the quick setup, is we're going to go to more details, and we're going to scroll down until we find the package dimensions. You just want to fill them out with the correct package dimensions. I've filled mine out. If we go back, you can see that I recorded all my information here, but I filled it out: 1.8, 3.3, 8.6 inches, and 0.61 pounds. So we've added our package dimensions, we've added our sale price. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and click Save and Finish. And there we go. Those 2 changes have been saved. And that's it. Our listing is set up. So what's next? So you've learned how to complete your product listing. In the next lesson, you will learn how to use Amazon's email system to create customer engagement. Action: create your complete listing. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Automated customer emails. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to use Amazon's email system to create customer engagement using emails. One of the most important aspects of your Amazon business is customer support. However, Amazon does not make this very easy other than emailing customers individually when they order. Now, this can be improved by using a tool to facilitate email delivery like Seller Mail by Managed by Stats. But for now, we are going to concentrate on creating the emails we will use with the tool. The way it works is you create an email sequence or campaign. Then at specific times, your customers receive an email automatically via the Amazon email system. An email campaign or sequence is simply a sequence of emails we send to our customers. They are added into the email tool and scheduled to be sent to our customers over a specific time frame that we choose. Now, there are some critical Amazon rules. No sales pitch of any kind. They only permit emails containing information about the product the customer has bought. No links are allowed that go to any non-Amazon page or site, so you can't include links to your website or your Facebook page. Only to Amazon pages. Now, you can add a PDF attachment to your emails if you wish, but the above rules apply to the content of your PDF too. In other words, no links and no sales pitch. And lastly, Amazon does not like us replicating any messages they send, which is why we do not send out emails telling our customers their order has shipped, for instance. Now, these rules are not guidelines. They are 100% rules. You must not break them. The purpose of these emails is to both engage your customers and make them feel valued. You want your customers to be happy with your service and the products they buy from you. This can help you prevent any negative feedback or reviews, which is critical for your business. This contact with your customers, if done correctly, gives them a higher perceived value of their purchase with you and your brand. It gives the customer an impression that we are an established company, as opposed to a single person selling to them. All these things combine to provide our customers with fantastic customer service, which is critical. With this fantastic customer service comes a far greater likelihood that they will leave you quality seller feedback. It also increases the likelihood of your customers giving you great product reviews too. There are several different combinations of emails you can send, and you can find examples in the PDF below this lesson. Generally speaking, less is more. So make sure you have a good reason for each email. And remember, the customer has to perceive that it's a good reason too. Now you must always test your campaigns. And the reason we test is simple. No two products are the same. You need to discover what type of sequence works the best for your individual products. Let's take a look at the different sequences you can use to get the best results. A 2-email campaign. This is the shortest and easiest sequence, and we recommend you start with this sequence of just 2 emails. If you have a product that needs extra instructions or tips for use, then start with the 3-email campaign, which moves us nicely on to the 3-email campaign. Generally speaking, this is the best sequence to start with if your product requires instructions or tips. Having 3 emails to play with means you can send an extra email about using or getting the most out of your product. This can and does lead to better results in terms of feedback and reviews for a more complex product. We have given you some templates to work from, but it is important that you write these emails in your own voice. This will lead to consistency later if you want to contact them again. So do not just copy and paste these email templates. SellerMail also has some great templates you can use too, but again, edit them. These email sequences are very important, so it is critical that you take your time and make them the best you can. Just as importantly, remember to make sure you test them, and not just the number of emails, but the content of the emails too. Important tips. Keep to Amazon's rules. These are 100% rules. They're not guidelines. Keep your emails short and to the point. Long-form emails are becoming a thing of the past. Just think about it yourself. If you receive an email and it's really long, do you really want to read it? And don't make them sales letters or promotions. Provide them with relevant content to your product. And write them as though you were talking to a friend. Managed by Stats, or MBS. MBS is a tool created by your fellow member Philip Jepson. It has a huge amount of features and uses. However, the one we are interested in right now is SellerMail. This enables you to add your email sequence and just leave the rest to the tool. Plus, we have a sweet 6-month free trial for you to take advantage of. To create your MBS account, all you need to do is click on the MBS button in the dashboard. So let's take a quick look at how you do that. So I've logged into the ASM dashboard with a test account. I'm just going to scroll down, and underneath the private resource vault you'll see this earn badges using Managed by Stats. All you need to do is click on this box. It's going to take you to a special link on Managed by Stats that will verify that you're an ASM 7 member so that you get the special deal. So you just click on I don't have an MBS account and then fill in the information. So you want to put in your full name, your email. As you can see, I'm just making this up. Put your password in, confirm your password. Then you don't have to fill in the phone number, agree to the terms, and click on sign up. And that's confirmed you're an ASM member and you've been signed up. Now you can read this information, it's about getting badges, but I'm just going to carry on and click on login. Filled in my account information, I'm going to click login, and then you just need to select the Amazon marketplace you're selling in. So if I was selling in the United States, I would click on the United States flag. And this is a very important step for using MBS. You want to follow all this information. It's made as simple as possible for you, but basically it just allows MBS to be able to connect. It will have limited access. It's not going to be able to access your bank account, your credit card, any of that kind of stuff. Just the information it needs to pull in your products to be able to send emails out and do a bunch of other fantastic stuff. And if you're at all worried, I use this service on all my accounts, and pretty much everyone else I know does so too. Philip's an awesome guy and 100% trustworthy. So you just want to go ahead and follow all these steps. Now I'm not going to go through and fill all these out, and I've already connected my Amazon MWS. But you just want to follow all these steps, and once you've finished this step, there's one more step to go, which is actually where you set permissions inside Amazon, and that will show you that Managed by Stats only has access to certain information. Now, Philip and his team have created 2 new videos. The first one is actually going through this process, but quite honestly, it's very simple if you just follow the diagrams and the instructions. But there is a video 2, and also a video about getting set up with Seller Mail, and there's another one to come too, showing the more advanced features of Seller Mail. Now I am going to put those videos inside our weekly calls and supplemental lessons module. So if you go into your player and scroll all the way to the bottom and click on that module, you'll see them. But in the lesson PDF that you download below this lesson, I'll also put links direct to those videos on the Managed by Stats site, so you can watch them however you want. But that's how you get started, and remember, you've got 6 months free of using this amazing tool. So don't sign up for this until your inventory's on the way to Amazon. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting some of your free 6 months. So what's next? So you've learned how to build rapport with your customers using Amazon's email system. In the next lesson, you will learn how to make the most of your time if you are still waiting for your inventory. Action: create your email sequence. Then sign up for your 6-month free trial of Managed by Stats when your inventory arrives. But that's it for this lesson. Take care. Taking advantage of downtime. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to make the most of your downtime while you are waiting for your inventory to arrive at Amazon. If you are still waiting for inventory, then do not just sit back and wait. Once you have created your complete listing, it is not an excuse to sit back and relax. You can be really productive. What you do now can be instrumental in getting your launch off with a bang. Brand assets, remember them? Continue to add content. So add content to your Facebook brand page, and to your website, and to your Twitter account, and to your Pinterest account. And lastly, get some videos created on Fiverr and add them to your YouTube account. Now at this point, you should have seasoned all your brand assets, so try and make sure that the content you add is valuable and unique. Niche research. Researching your niche or market is something you can and should be doing. Understanding your market and potential customers is very important to your future business. Start finding and looking at sites in your niche. And start finding Facebook groups in your niche too, and see what is being discussed. Like, comment on, and share good information using your Facebook brand page. Use what you learn to make your own posts on your Facebook brand page too, as well as other sites. Now, don't copy, but use the information you find to become a niche expert. Researching your competitors is another critical use of your time. Order competitors' products. Check them out, see what their quality's like, and read and analyze their reviews, especially their 5-star reviews and their 1-star reviews. Knowing why their customers gave them 1-star reviews is really valuable information to your business moving forward. And look at their questions and answers too. The chances are you're probably going to get the same questions, so you will be prepared. If they send out emails, read them. Take what is good and modify for your own use. And I stress the word modify. Do not copy. Now is not the time to sit back and relax. Yes, congratulate yourself on having found and ordered a product and on starting a new business. You have done a phenomenal job, but keep pushing yourself. Remember your why. Remember why you're doing this, and keep pushing yourself. You can relax once your business is thriving. So what's next? So you've learned how important it is not to sit back and wait for your inventory. In the next lesson, we will recap Module 5. Action: start your competitor and niche research, and continue to add valuable content to your brand assets. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.